Hey guys! I always forget to click the microphone on button when I do that, and I always have to say hey guys twice. I always gotta say it twice. Welcome in, Theo. Hey, Jake. Hey. Happy goodest of Fridays. I hope your Fridays are good and getting gooder by the minute. We're straight up back on the medium showdown. Going right in. I'm gonna set myself up a timer. Ooh, a tea. Thank you.
It's getting gooder in here.
Oh, it's getting gooder, all right. Yeah, we're just back in medium showdown business. No dilly dallying. I got 2 more paintings to do. That's an hour 45 each with break time in between. We got 4 hours probably straight of getting this shit done. Get it done fast. So I'm gonna find myself a timer. We're gonna do an hour first, followed by 45 minutes for the second half. But first I'm going to lay down my palette. I don't do that in the time because ain't nobody got time to account for that. What are we doing first? We've got 2 more varieties to do. Both are the same concept. We're gonna do an underpainting in acrylic paints, and then we are going to overlay those acrylic paints with oil paints, and see if that effect is more successful, easier to accomplish, or better looking. I don't know. We're just gonna see what it's like. There are 2 varieties of this because in one painting we are going to do the underpainting in color in acrylic and then cover it in color oils. In the other one we are going to do black and white acrylic and cover it in color oils, and see if there's a definitive difference between any of it. So I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm just gonna start painting. I'm just gonna start painting. You guys let me know if you need me to stop painting for any reason whatsoever. I might not listen, but thank God we have ultramarine blue this time, so it's not gonna end up all tealy like the last one did. Although Goldie seemed to really like that as an outcome. So
I did like the blue. The blue was a really nice touch.
We're gonna do the color acrylic underpainting first, and then the black and white one next. So I have this like tube of titanium white that I cannot get open, and I've been using my new tube because I can't open this one no matter what I do. I need to get a pair of pliers or something. It's on there good, man. It's on there good.
See what Mr. Plier has to say about this. This is
Nah, it's way too small. You could use the handle maybe. The hand, can you use the like
clamp it on there?
clamp it on there? No, it's slightly too small.
Elastic band around it.
I don't know.
Let's MacGyver this.
Maybe run them under some hot water.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I'll get my other colors ready while you experiment. I've got my other tube, my new tube. This is the new tube of titanium white, and it opens perfectly easily. But I don't want to waste the paint in the other one. We're gonna use this Hansa yellow middle because there's not very much of it left, as you can see, and I want this tube out of my life. It is also what we used for the straight acrylic painting one, so might as well keep her consistent. Then for our red, Quin red, same as the other acrylic one. Quin red it is. And then we need umber. Point umber. Good old-fashioned point umber. This tube is all thick because the lid got somehow displaced off of this tube in my paint hoard, and now the paint in here is like paste. But it does the job, so. He's pasty, though. He's pasty. Any luck?
It just kind of made the cap, like, malleable.
I tried, like, slamming it on the desk, and I could get the toolbox down and find a real pair of pliers, but...
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Red one?
Yeah, we've got... there should be channel locks in there. Oh, I got it! I got it!
Okay.
With these muscular arms of mine.
Wow.
Oh, hot damn, it's
She's
open!
So strong. Don't hurt me.
I don't need no man. You loosened it for me, though, right?
Yeah. Probably.
To be fair, it wasn't that hard this time around, so I think maybe like
And the
soaking
water
it in the
helped.
water helped.
Where did the other fire go?
Maybe it wasn't in there?
I could have sworn I saw 4.
Oh, there's only 3 in there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's supposed to be 5, so
Maybe I took the kitchen.
maybe I threw it in a bin?
Sure, it'll turn.
I mean, it's not a...
Quiet.
It went to that, like, land in Halloween Town where all the lost things go, never to be seen again.
Yeah, with that awful man.
Yeah, who steals everybody's socks. I'm glad you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to, just scrape some of this dried paint. Oh, you found it? Oh, it's just shoved in the drawer. I can't peel some of this off before we put it back together. This is why you should take care of your paint tubes, guys. If you're lazy and you make a mess of things, you just create like all this work for yourself in the future. Just wipe your tubes off. It's not that hard to wipe your tubes off. Pain in the ass to do it when it's all dried on there. Oh well. We'll see if it gets stuck closed again. White blob on the palette. I'm gonna put this on like securely but not ream on it. Maybe I can get it back open again. Okay. What do we got? What do we got? We got our brushes, we got a palette knife. This, I think everything is good to go. I gotta think about the plan of attack here. What if the mouse got some cheese? Get some cheese, mouse. Get some Easter cheese.
You earned it.
Some eggy cheese. Plan of attack. Plan of attack. We need to think about how this base is going to be any different from just painting it in acrylics. You have no cheese? Okay, well you better beg the Easter Bunny really nicely to bring you some, because I have no cheese to offer you. Only mushrooms. How is this going to be different? So, for one, we're not going to do the white spots in acrylic at all. That'll be done in oil because it's futile to try and paint this and then paint the red in with oils around all the spots afterwards. So we're not doing that. I think we're going to go pretty undefined block in. We're looking for vague shapes of values and not details. And then probably at the hour mark, we will switch to oil paints and see how that goes. So I have to keep in my mindset, like, don't get into the nitty gritty detail. Just put in the values. Just put in the big blocks of color values. Get these shapes right. That is the focus. Jake's got some cheese. He's got stink lines and everything.
Stinky cheese.
Stinky cheese. All right, I'm gonna go nuts and press play, and we're gonna start painting. Actually, before I do that, I wasn't happy with the brushes I'd laid myself out yesterday. Let's see if I can alter here. This one was awful. Be better. Tiny fine liner. More filberts than your body has room for. I won't be needing the script brush, that's for sure. In fact, I probably won't be needing the fine liners, considering I just said I wasn't allowed to be putting details in the acrylics stage. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Okay, you guys can see this is all where it needs to be. Good, good. Camera function, camera function, camera function. Sweet. Press and play. Here we go. An hour on the clock. First things first, I'm going to mix up some black. Ain't nobody got time to be doing that constantly on the fly, so. I really like the wet palette, but mixing on it feels weird with a palette knife. It's so squishy. Okay, that's our black. Doesn't have to be perfect. on there so we don't waste paint. We are now going to use this black to attempt to figure out where everything lives. So halfway up a little, mushroom top starts. Somewhere like this.
That's right, Theo. If the painting starts clicking, it's time to run.
You've been watching it, Theo? Is it good we haven't started yet? Is it off to a good start? We almost watched it the other night, but we stayed up playing video games too late and we didn't have enough time before we needed to realistically be going to bed. There's only one episode out right now, right? They're doing it week by week, if I recall. Mushroom Part 3. It's actually Mushroom Part 4. You must have missed a part, Mountain Meat, because this is Mushroom Part 4. And shortly after, we're going to go right into Mushroom Part 5. We're not fucking around today. This is the last day of mushrooms. We're getting these done today. So it's going to be this. And then when we're done, we'll have a powwow talking about how it all came together. And then I don't know what I'm going to work on next. I don't have the boards to work on the paintings I have that I need to get working on. My local art shop is out of the masonite panels that I use in the size that I need, so I have to wait for them to restock before I can start my next proper project. So I don't know what I'll get into in the meantime. You and Mom like the new episode? Good. I'm glad. It's painstaking when this stuff comes out and you gotta wait week after week for it. Mushroom Part 4, we will break your fucking door. Mushroom Part 5, we all gonna die. For real though, they're coming for us. Look, as long as you don't lick this guy, you'll be fine. Nobody lick the mushroom and everybody will be fine. Do a War of the Worlds painting? I'll have to look and see if there's any good, what's it called? Stills from that would be fun for me to paint.
You gotta do the sandwich.
Just paint a peanut butter and jelly sandwich slapped to the wall.
Absolutely. That's the best part of that movie. Tom Cruise loses it.
I really liked the tripods and the red squiggly
Mist stuff.
yeah. I remember there being a scene near the end, I want to say, or maybe it was near the beginning, where there's some kind of monument that's covered in the red stuff. And I vaguely remember that being good imagery, so I'll have to look around and see if there's good spots.
The movie just had good design.
I agree. Definitely agree with that. Some orange, slap some white in there. It's honestly more orange than we needed it to be. Nice thing about acrylics is you don't have to care because it's going to dry, and by the time you come back, you can just put it on top. Just get those vague areas. Slap it in. Slap her right in.
Slap them on there.
Slap them on in there. Get them in there. You know what you're getting into your bed? It's 2 p.m. Mountain Meat. What are you doing? Has Good Friday gone badly for you and you gotta call it this early? Or are you just lucky and you get today off and you're thinking to yourself, it's a bed day for me?
I feel
Because
that.
I've been there. I've been there, man. I get it. Can't tell me what to do. 2 weeks does not give you authority over you. I don't know. I do what I want. I tell off who I want. And I instruct those who I please. You don't have to listen to me. But I don't have to not tell you what to do either. White. A little bit of blue. Too much blue. Oh. It's gray now. Just gonna have to live with it. The Uberpods rising from that hill fighting the military. I don't really remember that.
That's when the sun runs off.
Yeah, okay. That checks
It's
out.
like, no, I have to go die.
I remember when that movie came out, I thought the sun was so cute. I don't even know what he looks like now. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I bet if I saw a picture of that boy, I'd be like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Red stuff. It's called the red weed. It's just that red shit. It's just some like miscellaneous red crap. What paint today? Foxman, we are doing a base of acrylics, so we're just blocking in colors and shapes with acrylics, and we're doing all of the details over top of the acrylics in oil paints.
It's gonna be a fun time.
So it's both mediums. All the mediums. Every medium. Well, except for the long dry acrylics. Those have been banished to hell by me. If anyone was here last night, they witnessed my rage.
The final product was nice, though.
Yeah, the final product came out alright. But it was a misery. An absolute misery to make. We're trying not to worry too much about value in the underpainting. We're just getting the vague block in shapes and colors where they belong. Values, sort of, but not deeply important. You work nights? You've been up for 21 hours. Okay, alright, Anonymous, you go to bed.
It is bedtime.
You a hard-working boy, you go to bed. Or don't, you know, apparently I'm not the boss of you, so you do whatever you see fit.
Back to bed.
Back to bed.
Not Pascal. Back to bed.
21 hours? Ugh. That's awful.
That's rough, man.
Fox can't control the mouse? I don't know. You don't listen to me, you'll be in big trouble.
Only time I'm ever up for 21 hours straight is for recreation. I don't think I've ever had to do that for work. Well, maybe when we were running a bakery. There were days we had to like stay up really late.
Yeah, like Christmas?
Yeah.
Like that one time I deeply overbooked myself for Christmas.
It was like falling asleep doing dishes in the back.
It was awful. I was like, yeah, one person can make like 50 cakes in like a weekend, right? Right? It'll be fine. The money. Gotta do it though, the money.
It was worth the money. Absolutely. Would do again. Wouldn't be happy about it, but would do again.
Thoughts on the Switch 2? Okay. Alright. Here are my thoughts. Why would anybody spend that amount of money to play, like, open world Mario Kart? Who wants open world Mario Kart? Like, come talk to me when you motherfuckers have made a new game.
I think Nintendo games are generally worth the money, but my issue with their consoles is that there just isn't enough Nintendo games to make it worth like
Buying the console. Absolutely.
Yeah. I really like our Switch, but like it gets way less playtime than our PCs do, and it's very situational. I never really ended up using it as a mobile console. very often. And like I grew up with Nintendo. I was like always I was always a Nintendo boy. Uh, but these days, I don't know, man. PC gaming is just so easy
Yeah,
and so cheap.
it's really hard to make it worthwhile.
Yeah,
It just feels a lot like the price of the game is inflated by the price of the console because you can't get it anywhere else.
yeah. And like games that are like 5 to 10 years old are still being sold at full price and stuff. Like I understand if there's a market for that, then they're going to
Do that,
yeah.
yeah.
But
I get it, but
as a consumer,
I will not be
I'll pass.
purchasing it. Maybe in the like distant future, if there's a world where there's another mainline Zelda game that gets released, or in a world where the price like drops significantly, or in a world where I just end up like loaded somehow. Sure. I'm like, sure, like why not throw money at it? Sounds good, but it's just not worth the it's not worth the price of admission for what you're getting for it right now.
And as people who like don't play consoles very often, and we mostly PC game, it means when we do decide to play something on console, like there's a bunch of updates that have been queued, and like you expect to turn the console on and play, and you have to wait like 40 minutes
For it all
a
to
system
load and
update
stuff,
when
yeah.
it needs to update and stuff. Whereas like our PCs, like whether we're gaming or not, we're using them, and Steam is open, so it's like constantly getting the updates it needs.
Yeah, I hate waiting around for that stuff.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I will not be partaking at the time being.
Yeah.
Had a bakery, Lori. Yeah, we ran a vegan cake company for a while. I'm a closeted cake decorator. Don't tell anybody.
Closeted.
I came out of the closet. It was too much to bear. I went back directly into the closet. I don't want anybody to know about my cake decorating past. Shh. No, it was good. It was good, like money, and I had a good time. But when I started getting my health problems, because I have like chronic vertigo, it just became a thing that I couldn't keep doing. Because obviously, if I wake up one morning with really bad vertigo, I cannot ice a cake. And obviously, cakes are the kind of thing that get ordered and made the day that they're needed, not like ahead of time. So if it's something like a painting, then it's easy for me to be like, oh, well, like I know I'm healthy today. I'll get it done and out of the way. So it's like nice and finished early, ready for the customer. But you don't really have that luxury with cakes. So it just became something that unless I was going to hire people to be my backup when I couldn't do it, it wasn't feasible to keep doing it. So.
And a lot of the time, like, if someone doesn't get a cake, it's like for an important event, right? Like,
yeah.
It's not just because they wanted to buy a cake and eat it, and they'll be like, I'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like somebody's birthday.
Yeah, or like a wedding or something like that.
Yeah, so you can't exactly call that off on someone, so.
Stakes are kind of high.
But it was fun while it ran.
Yeah.
It was also a lot of work, though. I'm kind of glad I don't do it anymore, just based on the amount of time that I now don't spend answering phone calls and emails and doing like inventory. And there was a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that wasn't as romantic as me just baking the cakes and decorating them that ended up getting worked into the job. That
yeah. A lot of supply management.
Yeah.
And, like, every once in a while, like, we would run out of something and like the shops would be closed and you have to kind of scramble to figure out what you're going to do.
And I was doing all of my own like social media managing and like marketing, my like website design, my like logo design, like all of it was just on me. I didn't hire out anything, which meant I had to do like a ton of research to get it all set up to figure out what the like local laws are for like how to pay my taxes, how to keep my books, and like it was kind of honestly more work than I wanted to be doing anymore. Now I just don't do that. It's great. Highly recommend. But it does mean I haven't decorated a cake in a long time.
I don't feel like you're I feel like this is a very transferable like motor skill set
Mm.
to cake decorating. So I feel like you wouldn't have lost anything.
No, yeah, it's all of the like crafty, handicraft based skills I have all like overlap. So I feel like I can go like long swaths without doing it and not have lost it. I mean, I went like almost 15 years without painting, and like it's not like I came back 4 months ago back at square one, right?
Exactly.
So
Your loyalty is to Sony.
Sony, interesting.
People like Sony's the most popular, isn't it, of the like consoles by far. And I've never been a Sony fanboy.
I was
They're
more
like-
of an Xbox kid.
Same, like post GameCube. When the Wii came out, I wasn't big on the Wii, but I liked my Xbox 360 a lot. I was a big Gears of War fan,
Yeah, same.
and Oblivion, which is getting remastered.
I never got into Oblivion
I don't think it's held up to the test
that
of time
well.
very well.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
It was my dream game as a like 13-year-old. The Sony people seem to love Sony. I've just never been like into the Sony exclusives.
Back in the day, the Final Fantasies were Sony
that's true.
exclusives.
That's true.
And that's the only time like I've ever been kind of like Sony pilled.
Right. Like Jack and Daxter, or like Little Big Planet, or like any of those things never really like appealed that much to me.
I something about the PlayStation controller and the like X circle square ass system is not my thing. I don't know what it is about it that I'm not that about, but
It's kind of situational. I played a lot of Soul Calibur on PlayStation 2.
I
And
believe that.
playing fighting games on a different controller doesn't feel right anymore.
Interesting.
Spider-Man Venom. Is that a like title?
I have not
Spider-Man Venom, and is it exclusive to Sony? I'm not
played
familiar with
any
it.
of the superhero games.
Yeah.
I've never played what's it called? Batman,
Oh,
which
like
I know
Arkham
is
Knight.
I know is like a huge thing. People probably think I'm nuts for not playing it because I do like Batman. And yeah, I've never played any of the Spider-Mans either, so it's outside of my wheelhouse. Back in the day, what's it called? Shadow of the Colossus was a Sony exclusive.
Oh, true. Yeah.
And I remember that being a big deal. But other than that, I don't remember any other Sony exclusives that I was like, oh, hot damn, I gotta be on the Sony train for this one.
same. Excuse me.
I don't know how much of a blocking I should be doing in this before I
Before you
switch
change.
over to oils.
Mhm.
I definitely want this background in darker than this.
You're only 20 minutes in, and you have it like pretty well blocked out so far.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like I could almost like put the cap information in and then just move to oils and see
Yeah.
what happens. But I'll have to take a break for 10 minutes no matter where we are on the timer before I switch over to oils because I gotta let this completely dry
Right.
before I let the oils touch it or we'll be creating problems. Realistically, when you do this kind of a method, you should be letting your acrylic underpaintings dry for like, I'd say minimum an hour. Ideally like a full day before you put the oils over top of them. I'm straight up not gonna do that, but just so everyone's aware what good practice is. If anybody else is doing this kind of a method, it's recommended to let them dry properly. If you do thicker acrylics, the longer you should be letting it go. But I do them in pretty thin layers, so I'm not too worried about it. But giving them their full time to like resinize or whatever, turn to a real solid state because touch dry isn't always like mean it's cured, right? So, but like I said, I'm not gonna do that. So just fair warning. You could do that. You should do that. I'm not gonna. But you could. You should. It's recommended. I recommend it.
I don't.
I just don't recommend it for myself.
Time is money. Crank them out.
This should not have been this green. I'm applying this green out of sheer laziness. Should have been orange. I mixed a thing that had too much blue as the base to make it. Also out of sheer laziness. But it's allowed as long as you say out loud that you're making the mistake while you make it. That's the rule, guys. As long as you verbally admit that you're doing wrong, it's fine. It's the Catholic way. You just gotta ask for forgiveness. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we are going to paint this cap in pink. Because this black I painted in is now ruined our underpainting, our clean underpainting.
Okay.
So you can see I tried to put the straight red over here, and where I got the black, you can see it didn't cover it at all.
Right. So the white adds opacity?
Exactly.
Okay.
See, it just covers it right up.
And then you'll just go over that white again?
We can do it with the acrylics. We don't really have to. As long as this is blocked into the right shape, we can just use this as an underpainted base and go in with the oil paints over top of it to get our reds back up.
You're so wise.
In fact, if I was smart, I would be putting a bunch of yellow in this because a yellow undertone in this would really help. Slap some yellow in there, why not?
Why would yellow help? Just because there's yellow tones in the...
Yeah, the mushroom is a very yellow leaning red. And yellow as a underbase is going to... it has vibrancy and not just bright value. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Like the color has saturation, whereas white has no saturation.
Okay.
If you think of colors in like a value way, like is it a light color, is it a dark color?
Right.
Yellow is basically as bright as white is.
Okay.
But it's colored.
Okay.
If you like turned this palette into a black and white picture, this would be very close in like value to white. So they're the same value, but the yellow has a vibrancy and the white has zero vibrancy because there's no color in it.
Interesting.
So if you're going to do an underpainting, especially with something like oils that are like luminous and see-through, having a like vibrant underpainting is going to help maintain that like bright vibrancy in the final painting.
Interesting.
Obviously that isn't true if you're using fighting colors, because this like versus
Fighting polygon.
if you're using, if I did this but I did it with like blue,
Yeah.
obviously I'm gonna put the red over the blue and then like the whole thing's gonna turn purple and it's not going to maintain vibrancy because it's been made purple.
Fighting colors.
So you don't want to do it with like the opposite tones on the color wheel. It has to be stuff that's adjacent to it. So making an orange means it'll pull in that. It'll pull your final color in that direction and help you maintain vibrancy.
Is fighting colors a like industry term?
Yeah. It's a secret industry term.
Okay.
You didn't go to art school, so you're actually not allowed to use it.
Oh,
it's like
sorry.
problematic that
Okay.
you actually said that out loud. So
I didn't mean to.
maybe you should go to school.
I don't have my art license.
Yeah, maybe you should get it together. I guess I'll throw a bit of here where it's supposed to be. Block out these shapey shapes. Shape, a shape, a shapey shape. So, shadow in there, doing shadowy things. And then I guess we'll use some of this orange we made to slam some of these colors in down here that belong. Slam them in. Just gotta slam them in there, boys. Okay. I am going to pause the timer.
Cool.
And I am going to... This acrylic underpainting took a hell of a lot less time than I thought it was going to, if I'm being entirely honest. Sorry. Pausing the timer, that took us 27 minutes. That was 27 minutes on acrylic. Which leaves us a bunch of time for the, what's it called? Oils.
Sweet.
So... my trusty fan out. I'm gonna aim it at the shroomy boy. I'm gonna let him dry out. Going to cover up my acrylic palette I've been working with here. Save him for later because there's lots of good paint in there still. We'll put him aside. And we'll get the oil paint set up while we wait for this to dry. Are you not ready? It's better. Oh, hey, Outa. Welcome in.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for the effect. A good Friday candle just for me. Orange mushroom is orange. Okay, let's see. I didn't end up using any of these acrylic supplies that I got. Let's put those all away.
Me at the mycology conference. Orange mushroom is orange.
Oh, thank you, Outa. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yes, sweetie. Ya old sweetie. What did I do? Oh, here it is. Here she blows. Probably could have left my oil painting palette from yesterday out and just reused it, but we didn't do that, so we gotta put it all together again. So I'll just set you guys up with a better view. I did, luckily, not throw out my little cup of linseed oil, so he gets to be reused. All of these acrylic brushes can go away for now. I'll just throw those over there. Have to ban you to get rid of you now. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me out. Oh, our fan, I think, is out of battery. He keeps turning off.
Unlucky.
Yeah, he's out of juice. We're gonna have to wait for this to dry the old-fashioned way. Unfortunate. Put away the acrylic brushes so we don't turn them into crusty oil brushes. Pull down the oil juggy. Pick some nice brushes out of there we're gonna use. That guy, maybe this guy. We're definitely gonna use these stupid skinny tiny ones because that's just how we are. This long handle one. This one I keep using and I actually really like it, but it's so messed up. Can you guys see? Look at this. Look at this mess. Look at this chewed up mess of a brush. But I actually really like him. I don't know. He gives really interesting texture. I've been using him a lot. Just goes to show, just because something's all wrecked and chewed up doesn't mean it doesn't have value.
You were gesturing at me.
No, that's right. Chewed up. Although if you're chewed up, it's my fault. Alright. White. Which red did we use? Did we use the magenta? I don't think so. We used the pyrrole. Ooh, he's sloppy. Get in there, bro. Get in there, bro. definitely use the ultramarine, so let's get that ultramarine in there. Make a little pile there to make black with, and then give us another pile over there. Yellow, we used the permanent lemon yellow. Lemony fresh. I've been a really big fan of these Cobra oil paints, guys. I think I would get them again. They don't wash out perfectly with water the way that some people make it out like they might. But it's a good starting point compared to having solvents. But I do intend to pick up some solvent this week and try some painting with solvent. And I have a funny feeling once I do that, I might be like, you know what? I'm just using the solvent. Fuck my respiration in particular, I'm just using the solvent. Medium Showdown, I ordered a large. Oh, chef, you funny boy, you. Look, if you want a large Showdown after this, you're gonna have to supersize your order next time. Getting pretty dry. I still don't want to go in quite yet. Like I said, you want to make sure your underpainting in acrylic is nice and dry. So
Better be drinking that tea.
I will. I'll do that. I'll drink that tea. I'm gonna mix this black first, though. Okay. Black is mixed. Honestly, you could use a little bit more blue than that. Chocolatey. I can go to hell. Why is it's staying on now? Why is the fan staying on now? Very peculiar. Very peculiar, that. I will drink my tea, and then we shall start with the oil paint. This block-in went lightning fast. I have a full hour and 15 minutes left to work on this in oil.
Yeah, you got time. It took like the full hour in the slow dry acrylics for you to block in this much.
It does beg the question, though, like, is there something unscientific about this method? Because every time I paint it, I'm getting more and more used to the subject matter, and so my speed is going up in interpreting the subject matter. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that has to be taken into account. No, Chef, I'm a scientist this week. This is science. We're perpetrating science. We have hypotheses to answer.
This is purely academic.
Yeah, this is, there's no love or enjoyment or expression in any of this. It's sheerly to answer questions.
This is passionless.
That's right. We don't have any room for passion this week. We're trying to find out facts. Science facts about art. Every day you live and breathe your eyes, finding truth, but also ecstasy joy, ecstatic joy. Yeah, that's fair.
Not every day.
I will say the amount of ecstatic joy I got from painting this mushroom has like lowered with each painting. And I think when I've finished the 5th one, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I don't want to paint another mushroom for
It's ecstatic
a while.
now.
While we wait for this to cure, I can take you guys on a little journey. I'm getting sadder. Not sadder, I'm whinier. The difference. Not sad, I'm whiny. Take you guys over here and see the three that we've got so far. This is what we have so far. We've got the open acrylics. We've got the regular acrylics. And we have the oil paints. That's what we're working with. They don't look that different, which is frustrating to me. I was hoping one of them was going to be a real stinker. So when we have all 5 in a nice little line, we can all have a nice chat about what I've done. But that's what we're working with so far. And now we've come back to this little baby. Still waiting for the Mario version. Hey, Bobs, welcome in. The Mario version, maybe we should have to do more. Maybe when we're done, like, we just got to keep doing more mediums. Maybe I got to make, like, a watercolor one, a gouache one. Maybe we got to do them in different styles. We'll do, like, a cartoon one, surrealist one. Any chance you could plug this fanboy in for me? Hook a fanboy up. All 3 do look like mushrooms. Yeah, it's problematic. Very problematic, Chef. Hoping at least one would not look like a mushroom, but here we are. Here we are with mushrooms coming out the wazoo. Goldie, the original fanboy.
That's right.
That's what he claims, but I really had to put in the work to get him to pay attention to me. I think I was the fanboy. And I may have told you guys this before. I can't remember. But there was this day in grade 12 where I was like, that boy, he's pretty cute. We had a Earth and space science together. He sat across from me. And one day I got a little ballsy and I said, hey, why don't you have a girlfriend? How come you're single? And he dead ass looked me in the face and went, because I don't want one. So, you know.
I was going off to university. You know, it seemed like a bad time to start a relationship. In truth, it wasn't, because we're still here, but...
It was a bad time to start a relationship. You were in the right. To be fair, I didn't really want a boyfriend at the time either, but I was no less offended when he didn't jump up at the chance.
Well, you know, we had cyber arts together in grade 10, and I sat across from her, and
I was mean to him.
Every day, the teacher would have a stack of handouts and would pass it to me, and I would take one, and then I would have to pass it to the next person. The next person was Fox, and so I would turn around, and I would pass them to her, and she never said thanks. She never looked at me. She never gave me any time of day. As polite as can be, with gremlins snatching them.
Yeah, I was a pretty miserable 10th grader, guys. It wasn't personal. It wasn't about him. I was a miserable little 10th grader. So Earth and Space Science was this, like, stupid 12th grade, like, science class. It was a bird class that the, like, science rejects who didn't take any real science could take. And we did, like, a geology unit where we, like, studied and had to identify rock types. We studied, like, craters.
Yeah.
We studied, like the layers of the earth and stuff like that. It was dumb. It was pretty dumb. I almost failed it, though. I should have failed it. I skipped that class more than any person should be allowed to skip a class and still graduate high school.
Our teacher was such a pushover. She was really nice, but it was grade 12, and I guess she was sensitive to the fact that a lot of people were going to university or college after and had to have certain grades to, like, in Ontario at the time, if you had a certain grade percentile, like overall, when you graduated, the university or the Ontario government would grant you a, like, bursary. It wasn't that much. It was like $1,000 or $2,000 depending on how high your grades were. If you had like 95%, you get like $3,000 each year.
That's nothing to, like, turn your nose up at if you don't have the money, right?
And on top of that, some people just needed a certain, like, they were given university acceptance, but it was conditional on them having a certain grade at the end of the year. And she was sensitive to that, so she, like, towards the end of the semester kept pulling people and being like, so what's your, like, deal? Like, what kind of grade are you looking to get from this class? And people who had like 20% in the class would straight up be like, I need a 60 in this class. And she'd be like, okay, and like give them a 60%.
To be fair, I think I was riding, like, it's got to be like maybe 30. I think I had 30% in that class. I had skipped so much. I think I had handed in one assignment the entire semester. I showed up to the tests. I think any of the percentage I got from that class was from writing a couple of tests and doing okay. But I didn't do anything. I never showed up. And I remember her pulling me aside for this conversation and expecting it to be a like, look, there's nothing I can do. I have to fail you. You fucked up. And her being like, so like, what do you need from me? And me being like, what do you need from me to not fail me in this class? And her being like, well, I know you're like, you've had a rough year and you should like still be allowed to graduate. So how about like I just bump it up to a 50 and we call it even? And I was like, that sounds great to me. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. For perspective, in high school, I was very lawful good. I was very much a goody two shoes. I like in grade 9, I had perfect attendance. I didn't miss a single class. And in grade 12, I had very good grades and like was, like I said, very lawful good. Whereas Fox was a renegade. Fox skipped all the time.
Renegade.
Was smart and with like A's classes in cyber arts. She had like a 95 and
It was 100.
And
that's why the teacher hated me.
Didn't hand in the final project that was worth like 40% just because she didn't have to.
Yeah, I had 100% that entire semester, and that teacher loved me. And then it came to the like ISU, which is like an independent study unit that you do at the end of a semester, where you do a project, and it ends up equating to like, I think it's like 15% of your total grade or something. It's a pretty high percentage for the project. And I looked at my 100% and I looked at the work that I would have to do to like complete the ISU. And I walked up to the teacher and I was like, so hear me out. I'm happy with the 85. I'm just happy with the 85. I'm not doing it. And she never forgave me for it. For like 3 years after that, whenever I saw her in the halls, she like wouldn't talk to me. She was so mad. I was like, what do you want, man? An 85 is good. Like, I'm not wasting like 40 hours of my weekend that I could be playing Diablo 2 or reading books or watching movies on this project that doesn't matter so that I can like maintain a 10th grade 100%. Like it was so stupid.
Yeah, it was
she was mad. She was
it was
so
very
mad.
much a Grease situation in our relationship where Fox was John Travolta. And instead of going to diners and driving in convertibles, we were playing Diablo 2.
Yeah, the great connection across the divide.
Yeah.
It was like two things that brought us together over the course of high school, and that was talking about Diablo and talking about coffee.
Yeah.
But Nikki out here casually ruining the curve. Yeah, that's my specialty. Rogue corrupted you. Yeah, I was a little corruptive to Goldie for sure. To be fair, it worked both ways. I think he brought my standards back up a little bit from the renegade behaviors I was participating in.
Well, because once our like relationship was clearly serious, and I think we both went into it being like, oh, we'll see where this goes, because like you've got a sweater on.
Just zip this up right here.
We both went into it being like, we'll see where this goes, kind of thing, and like have a fun summer together. And then we were like, shit, like this is really good, and like I'm going away, and like reality sunk in. You, I think, started taking school a lot more seriously, so that like you had a better chance.
Yeah, so I was guaranteed to end up at the university
Yeah.
that you were at, definitely. Yeah, Goldie used to be lawful good.
Yeah,
he's not anymore. And
now I skirt the rules.
I don't know if I was chaotic evil, but I was definitely chaotic neutral in high school. Now I'm probably chaotic good to a degree. Maybe still neutral, I don't know. There's chaos in there that can't be squelched. But I don't know. It's funny the crews we ran with in high school too, because Goldie's friend group and my friend group were like, there was a Venn diagram of overlap where there were people who ran in both.
Yeah.
And so we were adjacent to one another, but not really in the exact same friend group. And my friend group was the like drama kids. I hung out with like the kids who like wore insane shit, and they were all queer, and like they all took drama and art, and like they were the class weirdos in every scenario. And all of your friends were like
very straight,
like
edge,
bookish.
like, yeah,
Like
bookish.
Hermione Granger, like pick me, like I
Yeah.
want to be the one teacher's pet type
Which
of girl.
I think they all like secretly probably are and were queer, but just repress the hell out of it. And,
whereas my group was more like open and
Yeah.
accepting with it. Yeah, definitely.
but you're right that there definitely was like a Venn diagram, and both of us kind of sat somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So
We had some. I was a bit of a floater in high school. Like I had auxiliary groups. Like I had my core friends, but I like jumped around a lot and I knew a lot of people. Just not the like cool people. Cool people. You know, the popular kids were not my friends.
yeah.
Except for actually in that cyber arts class we had together, I sat
like
beside
cheerleader
that
girl?
like Hillary cheerleader girl.
Haley.
That's
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
Haley. And her and I actually got along really well, but that's the only like popular kid I ever like spoke with. I was a little emo loser. I don't know. I was
Yeah,
doing
we all
dumb
flushed
shit.
in here. That's right.
I wouldn't say she's evil per se. I'm a little evil.
Yeah,
The thing about me is I'm so chaotic. I like run the gamut from the evil to good meter as well. I'm like chaotic. It's I have really strong values, and in a lot of ways I think I'm more just and good than some of the people I know who would definitely self-identify as like a lawful good individual. But to me, like the way the laws and the rules work are a bit more of a gray area than I think like true like good people see things as. But Goldie can attest that like I am a person who does go like fairly out of my way to like help people even when I kind of hate them.
Even more so than I do. And I think people would at a glance like think I'm the goody two shoes out of the two of us, right?
Yeah, but in some cases like you'll be making the argument to like no, like let's not like give these people the time of day anymore because they're like annoying me or whatever, and I'll be the one who's like no, come on, we owe it to them, let's like give them another shot, let's give it some more time. But I don't know. You're still a floater? You float? I float in the pool. Can you guys float in water? I can't dive because I just go right back up. Can't sink. He's a rock.
Float.
Just like right to the bottom.
No buoyancy.
Zero buoyancy. I don't understand it. All right. I think this boy is officially dry enough that we can slap that timer back on and get back into him.
Did you drink your tea?
Yes, sir.
All right. Want another?
Sure. Yeah, please. I've only got half an hour before we take another breaky, so. All right, guys. I'm going to hit the timer. We are going to paint. Paint. No time, just paint. Let's go. Do we have friends that are couples or individuals? We have both. I'd say on the whole, most of our friends are couples. Mostly by the like happenstance that a lot of our friends have like slowly paired off over the time that we've known them. So the people who weren't couples are now just because it's been long enough. But we have single friends as well. There's this one girl, Brooke, who is probably our like closest friend. But she doesn't live in the town we live in. She lives in PEI, and she's single. And she's our kind of like ride or die friend. She goes to all events with us, and out of everyone we know, we're probably the most comfortable with her. Like when she comes and stays with us, we can like have her here in the apartment for like a week straight without it being weird or an issue. But we also have a number of friends who are in couples. Some where we were friends with like both parties beforehand, somewhere like one of them was our friend and then they coupled off and now we're friends with both. And the couples kind of run the gamut on their success as a couple.
Yeah.
We've got some people who like I think have found their people, and then a lot of people who I think they've found their people. They're pretty sure about it, but we're not so sure. But I'm a harsh I'm a harsh relationship critic. We have such a good thing going between us that I have a hard time not judging other people's relationships when I see that they like bicker and can't be kind to one another in all situations. Because from our perspective, it's really easy to just be kind to one another. So I have a
Yeah,
hard
we've
time
never
with
really
it.
bickered. We've always like if there's been a disagreement, it's just been a frank discussion. So when we go to like a friend's house and they're arguing and squabbling over something really petty, like food, or
Yeah,
like
we have friends.
taking the garbage out or
Yeah,
something, like
that happens a lot with our friends where they'll be like, "You didn't like do the dishes,"
Mhm.
and they're like, "Well, I didn't have time," and it's like, "Oh, yeah."
yeah.
Like
I
it's
think
chill, man. Just like live your lives. You don't have to like take things so seriously.
you and I both have a lot of basically everything is shared between us. So there's never been a like you took my thing or like consumed my object or whatever. And we're both pretty sensitive and empathetic to what each other's schedules are and lifestyles and stuff like that. And it is a happy accident that they just those two things are very similar. But like Fox has health issues that I don't, and I like am understanding of that. And like I know there are days where like even if I've worked and I come home and there's dishes, I know there's a reason for it or something like that, and like it works both ways. Like there's never been a moment or a confrontation between us where it's like
You're not holding up your end of the bargain, or yeah.
there's never been that.
We don't really barter with like chores or basically any like task that has to be done
Yeah.
that like is not enjoyable, right? Like if lawn needs to be mown, or like the dishes need to be done, or the laundry needs to be done, or whatever. For us, it's very much a like this is a problem that both of us have, and so whichever one of us is willing to be the one to solve it right now, it's chill. Like
Yeah. And I think both of us are happiest when the other person is happy.
yeah,
And so
definitely.
we both work to make the other person happy. Like, so it's tough to relate to couples who don't have that naturally. But it's also hard not to judge when they're airing those grievances in front of us as guests when they're when we're hanging out with them. So, yeah, I think that's where a lot of the like harsh criticism from us comes from.
Yeah, we're pretty synced up, the two of us, so it's hard to relate.
Yeah.
We also just don't really relate. I know for a lot of people it works in their lives to have a coupling where you don't spend all of your time together. It's very normal, I think, for a lot of couples to spend some time together. Like they come together at night to watch TV and talk about their day, and then they go to bed, but they don't spend their like leisure time together. And that's something I don't relate to at all. Like Goldie and I's like perfect world would be a world where like we never really have to spend time separated.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time we went to Cuba with Goldie's dad, him giving Goldie this like,
Right.
and you know, like here's a list of activities that the two of you could do separately so that you can get your like alone time in. This is how like I get my time away from my girlfriend in, so that like we don't like end up at each other's throats, kind of a thing. Giving Goldie this advice on like, here's the tricks to like
how you can lose Nikki.
Yeah, leave each other alone so that you don't like spend too much time together and end up like stir crazy and like trapped and hating each other. And we gave it a response of like, what do you you have to do that? What do you mean you have to do that? That's crazy. You shouldn't have to do that. But I don't know. We're very lucky, and I'm very aware that we're very lucky. So it's hard to I don't know, relate to people sometimes because I know the privilege from which I stand. But at the end of the day, I think like you just if your priority is your spouse being happy and their priority is you being happy, it's hard for it to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's just hard for it to be a problem.
Chore barter all the time, but I keep a secret reserve of chore energy so I can flood the market anytime I want. Yeah. I mean, and living with my 70-plus-year-old folks, I do the mowing, the heavy lifting, the laborious task work, and they do everything else. That's the thing, like, it's not to say, like, everything is divided evenly down the middle with us. There are
Yeah, that's
tasks that
true.
like I specifically do. Like when we had our house, like I always
Mowed the
mowed the
lawn.
lawn.
Yeah.
It wasn't because Fox wasn't capable of it, or I was like, oh, I do
That's
the
a man
minions,
job.
or because you did the majority of the like house maintenance and fixing and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
right.
which
Whenever there was like an exploded rat or whatever, it
Yeah.
was my problem.
um, but it just happened to be something that I did routinely for whatever reason. There was no like reason for it. It was just I was familiar with the lawnmower and I took care of it because it worked into my schedule well. And
Yeah, and a lot of our stuff ended up being very like just whoever has time and is available right now to do it. That like, we're not like super clean freaks, but we keep things fairly together. But we're also people who like, if we've had a busy week and the dishes have piled up, like I'm not mad that they're there because they're mine as much as they're his. And if
Yeah.
I don't have time to be doing them and neither does he, then it's not that big a deal.
no,
And so stuff like dishes always just kind of came down to like, oh, well, like you're working extra this week and I'm not. So like you go like chill and I'll handle them. And the next week it would be the opposite or whatever. And it never really was an issue because
Yeah.
we just trade out based on like the truth of life that
Yeah.
week. So
and even if it was an issue, like say I was working 12-hour days or something, like 6 days in a row, and there were dishes every night, like all it would take is a frank discussion of being like,
hey, like the mess is kind of making me anxious. Can like you help me do something?
yeah, exactly, and that's all it would take.
But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty easy. You just gotta be nice. You just gotta have other people's be like accommodating and like willing to make compromises and willing to put the work in and willing to call people kindly on when they're not putting the work in, you know. Mom's always upset about the dishes.
Yeah, everyone has like a chore that they just can't stand, right?
Yeah, we're the same way, chef. It's like, yeah, they like can be there, and as long as it's not like out of control, like if it's like the entire kitchen is now unusable because there's dishes everywhere, that's very different than like getting upset over like, oh, you left your oatmeal bowl in the sink too long. Like it's one dish,
Yeah.
calm down type of deal. But yeah, secret to marriage, devil worship and human sacrifice. Yeah, that's right. That's why evil will prevail. Evil will always prevail. Oh, hey, Razuzen. Welcome in. Raz, say hi to Goldie.
All right.
You know, you owe Goldie no highs.
Yeah, I am an accessory.
He is a mere dog in the background.
Exactly.
We can get him a puppy cam. And you can watch him lie on the floor.
We hope you're doing well. Welcome.
Yes, welcome, welcome. I don't know how this is like markedly any different from just doing this in oil paints yet. What I got left? 22 minutes, and this is still only the first hour.
Yeah, you got 45 minutes after that.
I feel like I was stressing in the other paintings, and right now I feel like I have a lot of time, which is strange.
Yeah. Yes, good boy would be an apt descriptor.
It's a nice dog, a friendly dog. He may not have the bedazzled good boy stickers strapped to his chest today, but that doesn't stop him from being a good boy. Oh, you like my moon staff? Here, you know what? Since you bring it up, Pops, I might as well show it off. Here, I'll pause my timer so that I can show it to you. This is yeah, it does. It's a kitty themed chair. It's got ears and old kitty cat on it.
Little,
Staff.
little winky kitty cat. His ears all over this damn place.
This boy I made to bring to festivals with me. I wonder if it still has battery life. I haven't turned it on in a while. Not an ad. Slight battery life yet. It's pretty dim. Usually a lot brighter than this. I don't know if, I can't remember if Pops is subscribed. I think Pops is subscribed. He's probably still here.
I think it was Raz who mentioned it.
Oh, was it?
Oh no.
No, it was Pops. It was
Okay.
Pops. So, let's see if I can get this in frame. This guy, I handmade with a stick that I got in my backyard. If I can get his. He's you can barely tell, but he lights up. He's got lights in there, so he glows at night in the forest when I have him at the raves. And yeah, I just carry him around. The moon is made out of a you know, like projector sheets, like thin, flexible plastic. I cut 3 pieces out of that and then taped it together at the seams. So I cut 2 moon shapes out with a thin plastic, and then this center little seam out, taped it together on the edges with just like cello tape, and then paper mache over it with tissue paper and PVA glue. And then that just got attached to this stick, which I stole from my backyard in PEI, and hand whittled this like channel for the moon to sit in, and sanded and stained and varnished the whole thing. And then yeah, just a bunch of flowers in there. The battery packs for the moon are routed. You can kind of see there's like a channel that I carved in the wood that I ran the like lining for the battery packs down, and then there's just 2 small battery packs hidden here and here underneath. And there's just a little switch that you just need something long to poke in. And then when it runs out of batteries, I just unpin this black wrapping and unravel it so that I can change the batteries in it. But it was not that much work, surprisingly, for the payoff.
Yeah, it came together fast.
Yeah, I got a lot of compliments on him when I was at the show. But he was really useful because the year I made him, I had what's it called? Limping troubles because I had rolled my ankle. So he came in handy just as like a stick to stand around with. But I like one of my craft projects from recent years. I haven't done a lot of like craft work lately, so. Cheese, don't believe lies. That's right, it's carved cheese. It's very stinky. Very, very stinky. Might have to do your own moon staff now. I recommend it. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that difficult. Honestly, the worst part was like sanding the wood and staining and varnishing the wood. So if you just found like a pre-finished stick of some kind instead, it'd be pretty easy to put together. You did a dice staff and a couple other ones. Cool. Yeah, I'm a fan of the staffs. A lot of people bring totems to EDM festivals for some reason. It's a really common thing. It's helpful when you have a crew there and you like lose each other, because in a big crowd they could find me really easily by just looking for the like glowing moon bobbing around in the crowd, right? So in some of the videos that came out from the festival, I could kind of spot myself in the crowds because you could see my moon like wandering through the background. Also just comes in handy as a light because it lights up. It gets really dark at those places, so I used it kind of like a flashlight of sorts. Okay. 22 minutes. Press and play. Back to painting. Sorry for the detour. Need to mix a orange color. Actually, I'm gonna do the mushroom red first. We have this nice bright red mashed into our brush. The orange tone of it's kind of throwing me off, so I'll be likely, because this cap is orange, to accidentally make the orange tones and the rest of it too yellow, because I'm going to be comparing them instead of having this the right color, so I'm going to throw this in there. Casting light for me. That's right. I used it to shoot magic missile over the crowd. It's a big hit. You want to cosplay as the Turtle Man from Common Side Effects next MegaCon? I don't know what that is. I'd have to look that up. I'd have to give that one a Google. Turtle Man. I haven't done a lot of cosplay, and I think I should, because I really enjoy costume. We tend, when we go to these like events and stuff, to be doing like outfit like concepts that aren't like based off characters. They're just like fashion concepts we've come up with. But there's a lot of characters that I think I could do good cosplays of if I could find the time to add it into my crafting repertoire somehow. The only cosplay I've done in recent times is Kagome from Inuyasha, which I wore to a Comic-Con last year. But that was a like last minute, like I've got like 24 hours to figure out what the hell I'm going to wear to this Comic-Con, so I guess I'll get on the sewing machine and slap together a Kagome cosplay. Which worked out kind of well, honestly.
You did get a lot of like, hey, nice Sailor Moon outfit.
Yeah, and that's a like, if you're gonna dress up as Kagome, you're gonna get that. People are gonna be like, you're like one of the Sailor Scouts, right? And it's like, okay, not every chick who's wearing a Japanese school uniform is from Sailor Moon, but... Mind if I DM'd you guys some of my stabs and a few of your clay pieces? Yeah, DM me whatever you want, Pops. I love to see it. Show me those stabs. Clay too. I didn't know you worked. I didn't know you worked in clay. I haven't done any sculpture in a long time either. I used to really like spinning, like throwing clay on a wheel in high school. Haven't had access to that in a long time though. Kind of miss it. Kind of miss it. Slowly becoming a fashion concept. Good for you, Chef. I love the concept of fashion. Post him in Meow's Discord. Yeah, that works. I'm in all those Discords, so I will be able to see it on there. That's probably better. It's easier for me to see on my computer that way too. Air dry clay and cardboard, fun. That's a lot of fun. I can't remember the last time I made something out of clay. A couple years back, I made like some silly little tree stump board game piece holders. Made like little air dry clay, like they were just little tree stumps like this big that had like a divot in the center of them, so that I think I made them for Everdell, so that we could put the Everdell pieces in cute little tree stumps when we played board games.
We made some miniatures for the dollhouse as well.
Oh yeah, we used to dollhouse fairly regularly. We haven't done that in a while, but we have two. They're in my parents' basement right now. They haven't been worked on in a long time, but we have two dollhouses that we built. And yeah, I've made like furniture and miniatures for those, which is a fun pastime. It takes a lot of like supplies that I don't really have room for in this current apartment setup, though, is the problem. The dollhouses themselves are like fairly
They're big.
large, so
Yeah, they take up a lot of space.
I don't have that kind of resource management space in this apartment, unfortunately. One day I'm sure we'll upgrade to a 2-bedroom apartment, and then we'd have like a dedicated like craft and stream room, which would be a bit different, but might buy an airbrush. Want to try first to see if you like it. I don't know. I also have never really used an airbrush. I thought about buying one when I was doing cake decorating, like what's it called, a food coloring airbrush. But I never did. I never got around to it, and I've never used a like regular paint airbrush either. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where you could like sample one. And hey, Natasha, welcome in. Nice to see ya. I feel like it's getting easier painting the same scene repeatedly. Like you don't have to think through some parts apart anymore. Yeah, I do, Fox man. And I think it's skewing the truth of this experiment a little bit because speed wise, I think I'm getting faster at painting this every time I paint it, which means saying like, oh, this method is the fastest might be a lie because it might just be the fastest because it's the last one that I painted. So I'm gonna have to have a long, hard think about it. There's so many variables to like trying to keep it like kind of scientific as a method. And, like you want to remove as many variables as possible so that you're comparing apples to apples, right? But even like the fact that we didn't have the same pigments for the open acrylics and the fact that we probably have taken like a miscellaneous time each painting to like read chat and to like just dilly-dally mixing colors and stuff that we didn't really need to be doing. It's like I said, it's not one-to-one, and it's hard to figure out what's actually the best method because of that. But so far I've really enjoyed this method. I think I enjoyed putting the acrylic under this as my start more than I liked going straight in with oils. And doing this detail work is kind of more satisfying to do in oils than it was to do in acrylic. So maybe this might be the winning type. I don't know. I'm feeling good about it so far.
The colors are really popping. Now that you're putting the like top coat on.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is that I'm not sure if like visually they're going to be different enough for any of this to even matter. Like from a like visual like they're finished pieces. Which one is best? I have a funny feeling it's going to be a case of like they're all fine.
Yeah.
And they could all be a little bit better if I like fussed with them a little bit more. So it seems like maybe it's going to come down to like
flow.
Yeah, which one feels the best to work with, and that's the real winner. But I don't know. It is really nice to be doing this blending over a backdrop of the right color, though. So I don't know. I'm thinking this might be a winner.
Backdrop of the right color. What do you mean?
So because I put the block in acrylic underneath, like say this red thing that I'm painting right now, I put that red block in acrylic instead of it being the orange underpainting.
Okay.
When I did this same painting in just oils, when I was putting the oils in, you have to keep them thick. Right. Because you can see the background underpainting through
Right.
the oils.
Right.
But because this is seeing through to the right color already, like underneath this blue is like acrylic this blue.
Right.
It means I'm not fighting to like keep full coverage because if the background peeks through, it's not becoming an issue. Right. So yeah, there's already some parts that seem like maybe this is the winner, but for all I know, I'm gonna get this done and I'm gonna be like, well, that was the most fun to paint, but it looks like crap.
Average price I found was like $400 to $500 for the machinery, and a really cheap one for $50. A good thing is that it seems to use very little of the paint, so it would last long. Thinness of the lines of airbrush is the thinnest I've seen of any medium, and crazy transparencies and seamless transitions are possible. I feel like taking the Adam Savage approach with stuff like that is usually a good idea. That you like buy the cheap one, and then if you use it so much that it breaks, as cheap things typically do, or you feel it warrants moving up to a like more professional model, then that's the moment that you would do it.
Yeah, starting out like going like a full $400 into something that you've like never tried is pretty risky.
It's a big commitment.
Not to say that I've never done something as such. Like I paid a couple $100s for my aerial silk equipment, like without ever having tried aerial silks before I got into it. And for me, that really paid off and ended up being a good investment. But in the same breath, we've also like bought other things like that we thought would be hobbies. We'd get that into, and then you kind of like
fizzle out.
Yeah, you try it, and you're like, you know what? It wasn't actually that much for me. Yeah. So it's tough because you don't always have like a place to toil with something and like give it a shot before you decide whether or not you're gonna get in there or not. But I don't know. I haven't seen personally, like fine art wise, a lot of airbrush work that I like very much. I think I've seen really high quality airbrush work in terms of like hyper realistic portraiture and shit that is very successful in terms of its like realisticness, but it lacks a texture or something that I feel like I miss. I think I would like airbrushes for like really specific areas in some paintings, and I think I would like an airbrush for like hobby reasons, like for painting like costume pieces, or like I said, for like cake decorating and that kind of stuff. But in terms of like fine art, I don't know that I've seen much airbrush work that I've been particularly fond of.
Really, Geiger used airbrush. I didn't know that.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I would never have guessed that. Interesting. Yes, we also fell victim to buying a $1,000 camera that we've only used a handful of times. We've used it, but have we used it enough to warrant that price tag? Probably not.
No.
So.
But 'tis what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Oils seem harder because you couldn't wait for them to dry. Yeah. I think having this like acrylic underpainting kind of removes a bit of that problem, because like I can sort stuff out with the acrylics without waiting for it to dry. And like be able to wait for it to dry. And then just do soft blending work over the top with these oils. So far I'd say it feels kind of like the best of both worlds, but like I said, ask me again in an hour when this is done and I think it sucks. There's still plenty of time for me to change my tune and turn into complaining Nikki. She's in there somewhere.
She always comes out eventually.
She's just sitting below the surface looking for something to bite into to whine about. Yeah, you could get the $50 one. That's not like, if $50 to me is a like, hopefully it pans out, but if it doesn't, I'm not gonna like sit up at night worrying about it. Price tag.
Yeah.
Unless you make that argument so many times that $50 decision is like you're making that every day with like a new experiment. But
it's also like the secondhand option, right? You never know if you'll find like a pretty good price on a used version of a better model or something.
You posted some in our Discord? Okay, sweet. I'll check it out after Pops. I'll have a little look-see. Always like seeing your work, Pops. So big it was annoying to use. Yeah, that's fair. There's always a learning curve, too, that just, like, sometimes makes things, I don't know, different than you thought they were going to be. I certainly have been victim to, like, thinking something is going to be the convenient version of itself, and then when you start using it, you're like, well, this isn't going to just like automatically make me better at this thing. I still have to do the work myself to learn how to use it and like get it together. And if you don't make a routine of using the thing, then like you never really like lock that information in. We have that problem with the camera that we bought where like we use it every year at like Future Forest or the events that we go to. But we don't use it like during our regular life between that. So every time I pick it up, it's been like 4 months between the last time I touched it, minimum. And then I'm like, how do I change these settings? Like, how does this work? I don't really remember. So it's gonna be tough, but. Got accused of photographing his work instead of painting it and answered, where the fuck would I go to photograph this?
Seriously, I guess a lot of his work is like kind of tribal in a way. Like you could maybe find it on like the inside of a temple because it's like kind of hieroglyphic. But like,
yeah, what a funny accusation.
So silly.
It's like going to like an art gallery and seeing some like surrealist work and being like, where did you find these?
It's like saying the melting clocks by Dali.
Yeah, it's a photograph.
It's a photo.
You just took a picture of those clocks. Where did you find these giraffes with extremely long legs to photograph? Our scientists must know about them.
The xenomorphs are real.
He was a visionary. It's ahead of his time for sure.
Yeah, he is a bit of a nutter. Like, I've seen a couple interviews with him, and it looks like a man who's struggling to remain human. Like, he is not.
I feel that.
Seeing his art and then seeing his, like, decorum and what he looks like, it makes a lot of sense.
It's funny how, like, tied art seems to be to, like, some of the strangest people you have just ever met.
It's on opioids.
I believe that. Oh, I strongly believe that. See, this is a level of like detailed blending that we didn't really have time or resources to do in the other oil painting, and I'm not sure why the acrylic underpainting has allowed for it. But it does just seem like I'm getting nicer and more successful blends out of this, which is strange. Interesting.
Isn't there actually like an animal that has the mouth inside the mouth? It has like the auxiliary mouth. It's like eels or something.
I'd believe that. Eels are fucked up, man. So claims he remembers his birth. That stuff I'm always like, so you're full of shit, right? Like, you just want, like, people to think you're cool and interesting. Like, none of this actually happened to you. You just have this, like, ego. You want to feel like the main character. You're making shit up. I never buy that shit. I'm always like, fuck off. You're not special. You're just trying to seem cool. Why can't you just let your work speak for itself? Why you gotta, like, craft this, like, stupid persona to, like, make people think you're interesting? Just make good work. It's not that hard.
There's a game called Scorn that looks like a Geiger painting. Absolutely vile. Yeah, I watched Jerma do a playthrough of that. And yeah, it looks exactly like a Geiger painting.
It's neurobiologically impossible. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, some people, they just, they want to be the main characters of their own fantasy they're living in. Whenever I hear adults saying stuff like that, or like just clearly like trying to like craft this like fantasy identity for themselves, I'm like, so you just didn't like stop being a fourth grader, right? You like think you're like descended from vampires or something? Like, shut up. Go to hell.
And this is blending so much better than the long dry acrylics.
Yeah.
It's crazy watching this in real time.
Yeah. I told you, there's something not right about those long dry acrylics, man. There's something not right about them. Absolutely something wrong with them.
Yeah, he's the main character, but he's like the, what's it called? Like, untrustworthy narrator trope.
Uh-oh. First
Right
hour
there.
up. So I have to finish blending this, guys. I can't stop this mid blend. It's just the way it's gotta be. We went too bright on the center of this, but it's fine. I might have to knock it down a peg. Just muddy it down a bit. Just rub some other stuff in there, muddy it down a bit, push it back there. Okay. Should not have done that. Should not have done that. Oh. I know. Stop ringing. I know. Times. Okay, we have 45 minutes more to go. You like my hoodie? This was a gift, handmade for me, bedazzled, one gem at a time by hand by this man right here.
It's my magnum opus.
It's one of my prized possessions, my bedazzled D2 hoodie.
Yeah, we do some bedazzling.
He's a bedazzling maniac. Something about it being a hard birth resulting in his claustrophobia. Okay. Let's make up a background lore just for like interest, I guess. Like you want to write your own story before you remember it, go nuts, I guess. Don't form memories until you've been exposed to sunlight and sleeping stably for like years and years. Well, if that's the case, then why do I have any memories? I don't remember the last time I was exposed to sunlight, and I've never been sleeping stably. Darn, is that why I forget stuff all the time? I think it's turning out really subtle. Is that a good thing? Like subtle is like good? Subtle is fun?
I think you're getting the best of both worlds so far. I think
I
your
agree.
edges are really clean, the lines are clean, and the blending is a lot more polished.
It just feels better. It just straight up, it feels better. It doesn't feel as shitty to be doing, and that matters a lot.
Yeah.
To me. It feels, even if it seems like it takes longer in the long run, we'll see after the next 45 minutes I work on it. But even if it ends up taking longer, I think the fact that it's more enjoyable to work this way just proves that it's like, it's what I should be doing. But, I don't know. Goldie is so delightful. Yeah, he's a real gem. He's a real sparkle of a man. What can I say? Picked me a winner. I chased me down and forced a winner. Tied him right up, roped him right in. Gaslit the shit out of him until he was forced to stay put. Gradients feel more natural here. They aren't forced, and they follow form with less perceived effort. Yeah, it's looking pretty glowy and pretty soft from my current opinion. And I think because of the fact that we have the acrylic underpainting, I think when I go to put the detail work into the stump and the front leaves and stuff, that it's going to sit less messily and with more fidelity than the other oil painting. I could be wrong. Maybe when I get there I'll be wrong, but I have a feeling that's how it's going to be. So like the stem isn't done by a long shot. Yeah, I haven't really touched the stem yet, but that's the when I get after this break, that's the next thing I got to tackle. I got to get that stem in there ASAP. I do think I slowed down. I spent probably realistically a little bit too much time fussing with this like background stuff, but I'm not that mad at it. So, Dad let me try Diablo 2. Mom didn't know that and came over to see me draw humans hung from trees, and she screamed why I would draw that, and then you weren't allowed to play D2 for like 2 weeks after that.
I had a mom who kept me pretty sheltered, and so like when we played D1, it was like make sure mom's not around, and like I remember like seeing the butcher's room for the first time and being like, holy shit, and like mom can never see this.
Yeah, the like line, the like that bastard let us into a trap. You like play that as a kid, and you're like, don't let them hear.
And one time, went back like when we used to rent video games from Blockbuster, and we had a Super Nintendo like when I was really young. We rented Mortal Kombat, and my mom was very iffy about it and like didn't like the violence. And then at some point, she bore witness to like just by sheer button mashing, we somehow managed to pull off a fatality, and it was Kung Lao's fatality, who has the like
hat off and like
yeah, he like throws it like a boomerang and it like slices through them, and then they like
their
fall
head
into a
falls
bunch of
off.
chunks. And she just happened to be in the room when that happened, and she immediately was like, "Nope, it's going back to the store." So it got returned, and we got Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Games
Oh
instead, which
man,
is
that's
just
the brutality. The comparison. The like the ripping of your adulthood away from you. Like
Yeah.
stay in childland, child.
absolutely.
That sucks. My parents were good for like letting us have whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
My dad was really into video games at that point in my life, and he was obsessed with D2, so like he wasn't about to not be playing it so that we didn't see it. So I spent a lot of my childhood just sitting like mouth agape staring at my dad playing D2 and StarCraft, and there was this like pre this era, there was an era where he played this like Elvira Mistress of the Dark game on the Amiga. It's one of those like point and click, like you travel, press the arrows
Like
to
Myst,
turn.
basically,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Where you're like in this like mansion and there's like poison and like dead bodies and stuff. And I was like a literal baby, but I was just like fascinated by this like Elvira Mistress of the Dark game. And yeah, they didn't care at all. They let me and my brother watch what we wanted and play what we wanted. And we only came out a little evil, just a little evil, just a little bit evil. So let your kids watch what they want. They'll come out just fine, just like a little evil, just slightly. Tried D1 and a bit later after D2. Oh, interesting. It's hard to go backwards.
Definitely.
I really liked D1. I played a lot of it, but after making the transition to D2, the slowness of the walk cycle on D1 is like intolerable.
Not having a run
it's really difficult.
Yeah.
But they're both really good games for their like own rights.
The simplicity of D1 in terms of RPGs is like one of its strengths. I love that game. I spent more time playing D1 than I did D2, just because like our computer can really run D2.
That makes sense.
And like man, I poured so many hours into that game. And
Same.
It was the online one with Battle.net.
Battle.net.
Yeah.
I was still playing like D2 regularly into like 12th grade probably.
Yeah.
With my friends, we'd just be like, "What do you guys want to do tonight? Like, how about we start another run fresh, everybody?"
Let's do another cow level.
And I was too into it, and I've got some memories of like my brother's friends wanted to do a run of it at some point. They were like, "Nikki, you'll do a run with us, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, you guys want to start a D2 run? Like, I'm in." And this like one guy that my brother was friends with, he thought he was being funny and coy, and decided to like attack me, thinking he'd like be able to take me and get away with it, and that it'd be funny. And that just like rage baited me, and I spent the next like 4 days straight every time he walked by me just annihilating him. And he very quickly left that D2 group and never came back. And they still bring it up to this day. They still don't like to mention D2 around him because he still gets a little tilted, but it's no more than he deserves because that guy's a jackass. So. But SpongeBob got forbidden in our house for a week since there's an episode of a robber fish that said, "I will crush your air tubes." And my brother told another kid that in school.
It's funny the panic that parents go through over stuff like that, and the band hammer comes down.
Your air tubes. That's good shit. Good and evil seem like organizing principles when you're young. Meta values drive ethics. Get older, I feel more like they're labels consequent to the act of deliberation. Good people don't always fit in neat little boxes. That's fair. Everything's a gray area in life. I am a strong believer that there's an answer of yes or no to everything is just a very wrong way to think of life. So, but how do you commit subtlety in that level to a kid, right? You kind of have to raise them in a don't do this, you can do this way, because if it's not a hard rule, then they can't figure it out. But I don't know. All right, I'm going to take a quick BRB because I gotta go pee and grab another tea, and then we're gonna come back. We got 45 more minutes on this bad boy. I'm dilly-dallying today. I'm just yapping to you guys instead of painting. So I'm gonna BRB, and then I'll come back and we'll get her done. We'll get her done, guys. We'll get her done. Okay. I am back. I'm putting 45 minutes on the timer. 45 minutes, game plan, stem. Get the stem done. No other things allowed until the stem is done. Press and play. In we get. In we get. Oh, you guys are slipping a little bit here. Let's recenter you. Stem. What do we want to be using for this stem? I'm going to be leaving it sitting in water. This guy's pretty good. I must say, the blending with this method it's a dream. It's an absolute dream, you guys. Anybody who's working currently with acrylic paint, other paint, try finishing in oils. It's a good time. Feels good. Feels satisfying. You have so much control this way. So much more control than you feel like you can have with the oils on their own. It's crazy. I feel like you can lay those edges in there. Just like go in nicely. How's this camera setup been working out for you guys? Do you find I haven't been able to like look very often over at how it's functioning over there? Have you noticed at all that my hand is like too in the way of what I'm actually painting or anything like that, or has it been pretty easy for you guys to see what I'm doing? Tried to set it up so that it's kind of over my right shoulder so that it is as close as we can get it for the sake of like fidelity of you being able to see what we're doing without it being like literally in my face and without it being a case where you guys can't see because my hand's in the way. I don't know if I got the sweet spot or not. Someone told you they were gonna crush your air tubes, the laughter would kill me first. Yeah, if somebody said that like as a serious threat, some threats are a lot less intimidating when there's just something like school ground childish about the descriptors. Looks all right to you? Okay, sweet. Good, very good.
More tea?
Yeah, please. I forgot to grab one when I braked. When I gone done and braked. More tea, he asks. Like I ever say no. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Excuse my reaching. Thank you.
Oh,
There you
thank you,
go.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Alright, let's try and get some white stem in here. Cover up this pink side that we've got in here still for some reason. My chair go any lower than this? Ah. I've been developing back problems for painting so much lately. Spent a lot of time kind of hunched over in a shrimpy way. This is as high as my desk goes up and as low as my chair goes down though, so I have to crunch a little bit. I try and do stretches and hang upside down for a while after stream to like combat it, but
Can only do so much.
yeah, that's true. Sometimes you just have to accept your fate as a crumpled lady. It's my brand anyway. Gremlin woman. "35 minutes left. We have to probably realistically speed up just slightly. I want to have time to get all those little white dots in on time. This was going fast at first, but it feels like now that I'm in the weeds here, I'm slowing down a lot. See that people are throwing all their popcorn during the scene in the Minecraft movie? What? No. Why would people be doing that?
It's like a TikTok thing, I think, as well. Like people are just like going fucking nuts during the Minecraft movie and making like a huge mess.
What the fuck? Why are people like this?
I don't know.
That seems just like incredibly rude to the people who work at movie theaters.
Absolutely.
Like, what? Have you no decorum? Do you not care about people who are being paid minimum wage to deal with your bullshit? Yeah, that's outside the realm of anything I am well read on, because I am not a Minecraft player. Never played Minecraft, and so when they announced the movie, I had no real stakes in it, no real interest in it. Clean brush momentarily. Someone even brought a live chicken into the cinema? Okay, that's That's all kinds of problematic. Like the biggest popcorn just emptied over the seats. Looks like popcorn is literally snowing in the videos. Jesus. I hate stuff like that. I may be evil, but I respect people. To me, that stuff just screams like, I don't care about the consequences as long as they're affecting other people and not me. And that just sucks. I hate to live in a society where people like think they're like 1 minute of a lull is worth like ruining someone's night and making them stay late at work to clean up like a huge mess and waste like human resources. Police have been escorting people out. Good. Go get them, coppers. That's what they deserve. Bless you. Stem. It's a little bit of. That little nubby way too high up on this guy for some reason. I'm not moving him now. He lives there. I'm afraid he's gotta live there. I also, this is just like a little bit too bright. Try and knock him back just slightly. Good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the spots on, because I think they are more important to get done than the foreground is. So, got 30 minutes left. We'll get the spots in, and then we'll see what time we have after the spots are in, so that we can mess with the foreground a bit. Not really a movie theater type of girl. You like being able to pause the movie if you need to get a drink or go to the bathroom. I'm both. I actually really like going to the movies, and I don't mind having to like hold it or like plan my snacks ahead of time or whatever. But I just really like movies, so being able to see it like loud and on a big screen is nice for me. That being said, like movies are pretty expensive now. Like you pay like 15 bucks Canadian minimum for a ticket, and then on top of that, like popcorn is like $10 Canadian for like a tiny bucket of it. Like it's not really the affordable date night it once was. I also just haven't been that into a lot of the movies that have come out lately. which makes it seem even less worth it to shell out to like actually go to the movies. When it can be so easy to just torrent things of your own accord at home for free. Just the way Satan intended. Hello.
Hello. Looking very nice.
Thanks. I'm beginning to get stressed for time.
Almost half an hour left.
Yeah, but I haven't done the foreground.
Where's the time gone?
Oh.
Had so much before.
I think the base came together so fast that it surprised me.
Did you get complacent?
And then I think I like spent more time fiddling with perfection in the stem and the log in the back instead of moving around and trying to get a lot of stuff moving forward at the same time. So yeah, complacent is kind of the word. Overconfident, perhaps. Some part of me lost the time trial sensation for a minute. And now it's coming back to bite me. Snacks and drinks can be solved. Bathroom situation is just awful. Watch half the movie, having to pee or miss a few minutes, having to... Yeah, I agree with that. I can usually hold it for long enough that it's not been a problem for me, but if you like are a person who just like has to pee often, it kind of sucks. Especially if the movie's like a 3-hour movie. It's one thing if it's like it's like an hour and a half, 2-hour movie tops, but when you get one of those like
Dune was rough.
Yeah, Dune was tough. Back in the day, like I remember seeing Lord of the Rings multiple times in theaters, and every time being like, "It's a long one, man. You're in for a haul." Saw a cinema that showed the current movie in the bathrooms. That's nice. That's very nice of them. Put this red on too thick, and now it's hard to put the white over top of it. It is just a pain in the ass to do this kind of detail work in oils compared to acrylics.
Because you just need to keep like refreshing your paint.
Yeah. It just picks up too much stuff and you gotta just keep... You only get a couple
dabs?
Yeah, a couple well-deserved dabs in before you gotta switch out. And you can only really get those few in by, like, turning the brush and being kind of precise with it.
Right.
feel like this is an area where having a little bit of a what's it called? A gel medium might help out.
In what sense?
I could mix more paint faster without using up as much paint. And the gel, I think, would stick more readily to the already existing paint.
So instead of pulling stuff up, it would just place it down.
I think so. It would just, I think, spread onto it because it's like looser, right?
Right.
It like would attach itself with less force than this is taking.
I see.
In concept, I don't know if I'm right or not. Have to get a medium and find out. 22 minutes, I'm stressing a little bit. Just a little bit. Suspecting you might have ADHD, can't focus on a movie, you have to rewind scenes multiple times before you get what they were doing or saying, same with books. Plus you're tired all the time. Yeah, those all sound like reasons why the home viewing experience would be your cup of tea. That's why you just gotta make sure you got a good setup at home. A nice TV, good sound system, so you don't feel like you're missing out by not doing the theater route. How did they make it look so tasty? I don't know. We were saying this yesterday.
I love this. It does look really good.
It's literally like decorated with like little icing dollops. I want to eat it. It makes sense that everybody would want to eat it.
You were saying it looks sweet. It looks like candy with like icing dappled on it.
It looks like gummy, like juicy too. Like the actual mushroom part, the red, it's so like bright and vibrant. Like you figure it's gonna have this like candy strawberry taste or something. Okay, we need some shadows in there. Mix up a little shadow corner over here. Sure. Sure. Minutes. Okay. 20.
Yeah, like
minutes.
a candy apple, exactly.
Looks like a pizza. Can you imagine it was like really big and you could just take the top off and cut it into little slices? I bet it'd be good. It'd be good. Alright, I'm just gonna pull some straight white over here and then pick a couple of these guys to pop up a chunk. Pop them up a chunk, guys.
Chunk?
Chunk them up. Chunk them up, boys. Show them who's boss. Alright. Okay, let's pivot. We got 18 minutes. We're gonna put this stumpy thing in. Quick work. We're gonna make quick work on the stumpy thing. Headphones just gave me a buzz, which I think means they're gonna die on me.
Oh no.
It's okay, I've got the other earbud still. I can skate by on the other one. It means I have to remember to charge them after stream, guys. Nobody let me forget. I have to charge my headphones after stream. If I forget, it's all of your faults. And I'm going to hold every last one of you accountable when I have to stream my next stream in utter silence because I can't listen to the music. And then you'll be in big trouble. Man, now I want a candy apple. I'm a candy apple fiend. It's one of my favorite foods. Candy apples, cotton candy. I guess I just like circus food.
Yeah, you were born to eat that at a carnival.
I was born to be a carny. There's some alternate life where I ended up a circus folk. I just know it. Okay, we need to mix an orange ASAP. A bunch of yellow in there. Way more yellow than that. Orange it up. Ooh, yeah. That's the orange we want. maybe a little bit too vibrant. You could maybe use some browning down. $12. Oh. Okay. Focus time now.
Pick it up.
Okay, we gotta get some of this area over here made a little bit more, with a little bit more fidelity. $10. 10. Oh, we never put in this stuff over here. Okay, it's just some rock-looking structures. 7.5 minutes. Speed running art. Yeah, we're in the final lap here, so we gotta focus in. Five minutes. Definition back into a couple of these foreground pieces. Three minutes. No, we might be lucky. This might be the most successful one yet. It might just be the most successful one yet. $50 seconds. 50 seconds. Oh, that's time, guys. That is time. Okay. Brushes down, as it were. Brushes down. Oh, stop digging at me. Love Sean Shells. Time to go do stuff in the real world. Cool. Have fun, chef. Have a good day. Have a good Friday. A good Friday day. Thanks for hanging out. I hope all of your real world things are good, great fun. Extremely good and maybe also great fun. Okay. What do we think? What do we think about this? How do we feel about this now that it's all done? You guys think I should just go straight into the next one, or should we do a little comparison first? I think we'll just save comparing them all until I do the next one as well for the very end. And then we'll have a powwow. Then we'll have a good old fashioned powwow. What time are we supposed to do it? At 6? Oh, is it at 5? It's at 5, eh? I mean, I could finish tomorrow. Can you double check that for me? Yeah, I could make 6 work, but not 5. Do you wanna push it, or do you want me to do the rest of this tomorrow?
Well, we'll need to eat as well, so it might be wise to do it tomorrow. But if you want to sew tomorrow instead of stream, I could push it.
I think I'd rather push it because I have all my paints out and ready. If that's all right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I'm gonna do a quick BRB. I'm gonna run and pee, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna go straight into the next one. No dilly dallying whatsoever. We're now on 2 times time crunch. We have to be done before 6. Means every minute is precious. So, be right back. I am back. BRB big rat boobies. Okay, you have fun with your rat boobies, Natasha. We'll see you in a minute. Hey, Trev. How are you? We are going say goodbye to this acrylic layered in oil piece. We are sending him into the void. His pals. And no dilly-dallying, we're going straight into the next one. So I'm going to annex my oil painting stuff out of my way. Whoop. We're gonna bring the acrylic bad boys back in. Ay. I am getting a call from my mother that I unfortunately have to take. Okay. You know what? Unfortunately, I think I am going to have to push. This conversation with my mom is going to take a while. I know it to be true. So I'm going to have to push this. I'm going to have to push this painting till tomorrow, guys. I'm going to have to finish the last one tomorrow. It's too much of a time crunch. I can't fit it all in, and I have to answer the call because it's kind of important. So, unfortunately, we're gonna have to call it there. We're gonna have to call it there, guys. I'm very sorry. I'm gonna have to go, and we're gonna have to come back tomorrow and finish the last one tomorrow. Before I leave, I will show you the lineup. That's our lineup so far. 4 guys on the go. This guy. This guy. This guy. Our new guy. 4 boys. 4 bad boys. That's what we've accomplished. That's what we've accomplished so far. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna have to call it for today. It was just a short one. Shy of 3 hours, but I will come back tomorrow. Probably midday again, and I will finish it tomorrow. Yes, we're comparing mediums and techniques. So we're 4 deep, we've got 1 more to go. We're gonna do the last one tomorrow, and then after that we will we'll sit down, we'll have a big long powwow about all of the differences and what ended up being the most successful. So if you guys are around, you want to hang out, you want to see how that all works out, then chime back in tomorrow. Otherwise, yeah, just there'll be VODs if you want to see it finished. And when it's all done, I will post a comparison photo slide to my Instagram. So I have a funny feeling that the oil over acrylic is going to be the winner. So, but yeah, that's all for today. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for everybody who's been subbing, sending bits, and following and everything. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I'll see